One of the things at the time I thought was the beauty of this addiction was the very fact that you could hide it so well. Uh, you don't stagger when you walk, your eyes don't dilate. Uh, you can walk into a group of people and nobody would know. But I quickly realized that's exactly where Satan wanted you, because you're only as sick as your secrets. And as you keep that bottled up inside of you, it becomes harder and harder to share that. And I was literally dying inside. I might have had the facade of success on the outside, but I was crumbling inside. I hated myself. I hated my life. I hated what was taking place in my life. And I really thought that I just had no place to go. And when I came to the belief that I was probably going to spend the rest of my life buried in this addiction, I really began to think about losing interest in a long life because I just didn't want to be there. I was dying inside. Pornography, like any other addiction, doesn't just go away. And I was thinking I could pick myself up by my bootstraps and beat this thing, but I couldn't do it on my own.
What? Just walk us through the relational damage it did to that original family.
Well, when you're lying to your wife, it's impossible to have an intimate relationship. If you lie to anybody, you can't have an intimate relationship with that person. I tried desperately to separate the family man from the addictive behavior man, and you can't do it. It becomes such a part of your life. I really believe that after I was married, that acting out would stop. I had a friend, and he was a godly man and someone that had the courage to speak truth to me in love. And he suggested that I visit this organization called Celebrate Recovery. And I said, absolutely not, I don't need it. And he was very persistent in a loving way. And I kept putting him off and putting him off. And finally, one day, he said, Daryl, you're a businessman, and we're looking to start it at our church. Why don't you go down and evaluate it for us? Well, I could do that because that was a safe thing for me to do. And so I went down and I took copious notes. And I was going to report back to my friend. And we went to this orientation meeting. And it was a meeting that changed my life. Because this young man, probably in his mid-late 30s, nice shirt and tie on, very professional looking, he stood up and said, my name is Chip, and I'm a Christian, and I struggle with pornography. And I'm sure that people saw or heard my gasp when that came out of his lips. I couldn't believe somebody would actually say that. Well, then they started going around the room, and I realized that eventually they'd come to me. And I didn't know what to say. And I finally made the decision, I'm never coming back, so I'll just say it. And so when it came to me, I said, my name is Daryl, and I'm a Christian, and I'm struggling with pornography. At that moment, at that instant, a freedom hit me like I'd never experienced. For the first time in my life, I admitted to somebody other than myself that I had a problem. And never again could I take that back. Well, needless to say, I did go back the next week, and the next, and the next.
What would you tell a guy who's listening to you talk today, and that he's split? Part of him wants to get up so bad at the end of the service and go tell somebody, I need help. But part of him thinks, no, just not going to do that.
In 2 words, do it. And here's why. God loves you. God didn't send his son to die on the cross so that you can be buried in pornography. He died on the cross so that the life we live here, we can live it abundantly, and we can spend an eternity with our Father. Once you tell somebody, I struggle with pornography, you can never take it back. And that takes you out of the denial and leads you into openness. You know, the light comes on the sin and it can never go back into the darkness. My name is Daryl, and I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ, who is celebrating my recovery from a 46-year addiction to pornography.